Today's topic relates to Arizona's new law regarding critical race theory and other content of government instruction. Specifically, I'll go over HB 2898. I'm Steve Serbalik, and I'm a panel attorney for ASCOPS here in Arizona. As always, this is a topic summary and not legal advice. This video relates to my prior video about mandatory training. So if you haven't seen that video yet, you can check it out with the card above or with the link in the description. I also need to add an additional disclaimer. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to discuss a controversial law related to a high-profile topic. I'm giving an analysis of what the law is, not necessarily what either I or any of the organizations that I represent want the law to be. HB 2898 covers what training that the state, a state agency, or a city, town, county, or other political subdivision may do in training. Specifically, the law says that these government entities may not require an employee to engage in training, orientation, or therapy that presents any form of blame or judgment on the basis of race, ethnicity, or sex, although it does specifically allow sexual harassment training. The wording in the law, blame or judgment on the basis of race, ethnicity, or sex, is actually specifically defined in the law. It's defined as any of the following concepts. 1, that the ethnic group or sex is inherently, morally, or intellectually superior to another race, ethnic group, or sex. 2, that an individual, by virtue of the individual's race, ethnicity, or sex, is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously. 3, that an individual should be invidiously discriminated against or receive adverse treatment solely or partially because of the individual's race, ethnicity, or sex. 4, that an individual's moral character is determined by the individual's race, ethnicity, or sex. 5, that an individual, by virtue of the individual's race, ethnicity, or sex, bears responsibility for actions committed by other members of the same race, ethnic group, or sex. 6, that an individual should feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress because of the individual's race, ethnicity, or sex. Or 7, that meritocracy or traits such as hard work ethic are racist or sexist or were created by members of a particular race, ethnic group, or sex to oppress members of another race, ethnic group, or sex. So there's a lot to unpack there, and this law is rather unique. So courts may get involved in interpreting what it ultimately means once it comes into effect in September 2021. But I do want to clear up a potential misconception. This law does not ban all anti-bias training. For example, if a training states that everyone has personal biases, this is likely not going to trigger the law's prohibition, because it's saying bias exists independent of race, ethnicity, or sex. On the other hand, if a training argued that a particular racial or ethnic group is biased because of race or ethnicity, that training could be impacted. Also, there's some unusual wording at the first part of the law. It says that an employee is not required to, and I'm quoting, engage in training. It doesn't say that an employee may not be required to attend training. I don't know if this was an intentional wording by the legislature, but it raises legitimate questions as to whether someone can simply be forced to sit through a training or lecture if they are not otherwise required to, quote, engage. Now, all of that said, in my informed opinion, I believe this law was intended to ban trainings that advocate a position that would say, for example, that white people should feel guilty for being white because they were historically privileged in the United States. But again, the law would, on its face, likely not apply to trainings that say everyone has personal biases or that everyone should be conscious of the potential problems if anyone acts because of personal biases, and that a bias-free workplace is important. If you have specific current concerns about how your agency's training expectations comply with state law, you should contact a lawyer. But if it involves this law, you'll need to wait until the law takes effect, which again doesn't happen until September. Organizations like ASCOPS and lawyers like me are here to help. If you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. Like this video to help out my channel. Please also hit that notification bell so that you know when new videos are released. Videos come out every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time. I'm Steve Serbalik. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.